Hey peeps, thank you for coming back for another episode of 3 for Thursday, where I share 3 things about something on Thursday. And today's topic, we're gonna dive into why it's not all about the numbers, all right? I'm your host, Gladdy, from Heart Take the Wheel, your brand and business photographer. And yeah, I have a lot to say, so we're gonna just, as always, dive right in. Okay. So, we've been trained to focus on that number. We've kind of worked our butts off to get quantity over quality, and now we're trying to figure out what even matters. Like, what are numbers? Okay, so I'm here to provide you with 3 examples of why it's not really about the numbers, why it's more about the impact you're making and about reaching the right people. Number 1 will be an example right here on YouTube, and it's about reaching the right people. So, as you know, during the recording of this, I'm like, 170 or something subscribers. It's like tiny, small fry over here. And at the time of this instance, this example I'm going to share with you, I was around 140, and my viewer average is pretty low as well. So there's a very specific video that when I shared it, even 2 days in, I think it was topping out at 11 views, right? That's just, oh man, breaking the bank there. Anyways, 11 views on this video, 140 subscribers. It's pretty deflating numbers, especially when you're creating, content. You're creating content and it takes a lot of time to create content. So there was a video, I shared it, and even 2 days in, it had 11 views on it. I had 140 subscribers. When I get my new videos, I typically try to share them on other platforms to reach all of my audiences. And so 2 days in, I noticed someone engaged with the content, like they saw the video, liked the post, watched the video, and like that, whatever. And then immediately following it, they messaged me privately and asked me when we could work together. So that's what I'm freaking talking about. It's a really small nutshell of a big point here, because this has happened in different platforms all across the board. If you're focused on the right people seeing your content, getting your content in front of the right people versus just as many eyes as possible, then you are going to get those people who, 1 in 11, that's pretty good conversion. Anyways, what I'm saying though is that it wasn't really about having hundreds and hundreds of views on a video or thousands of subscribers if none of them are going to convert or none of them are going to be impacted by what you're doing and what you're sharing, what you're giving value on. None of them are going to engage, right? So, I want to keep that. I want to keep converting. I want to keep impacting people and impacting my own business with the content that I create. So not every post and every video is going to be like that, but my goal is to focus on creating content and sharing it and creating audience, like cultivating my audience to all be the type of person that I can best help, that best needs me, and that understands my purpose and value, and that I can connect best with them and all of that. That stuff, ideal humans connecting in the world. Anyways, that's what this is really about. It's about quality over quantity, right? The quality of the people who you're engaging with and sharing with and your audience and your followers and subscribers and whatever versus quantity. Like if you just have a bunch of them and none of them actually care what you're doing or engage with you or convert or are impacted by what you're doing, then what does that matter? Number 2, my Instagram. So what I did is something kind of drastic, and it's kind of hard for a lot of people to do, and some people it's part of their practice. So I found an app. I don't recommend any of them. I kind of hate all of them. I hate all how some of them work, but sometimes you need that third-party app that's going to give you the data, right? That's going to tell you who your ghost followers are. And ghost followers, quite simply, are people who are following you but they've never engaged with any of your content. They've never liked a post, and they've never commented on a post. And they've done neither of those things ever. So I'll go through and find who all of those ghost followers are, and I will delete them. So I want to be very clear, because this was confusing for some people when I mentioned it on Instagram a few months ago. I'm not talking about the people I'm following. That's that's not daily, but it's a pretty common practice for you to go through who you are following and seeing if like you're still engaging with their content, if it's still serving a good purpose for you. Because you gotta keep your feed clean, man. Sometimes you're following accounts, you're like, I don't remember why I'm following you, I don't really like this content, or this doesn't really speak to me, or I'm not your target audience, or whatever, right? And so you end up having to clean house and just get rid of a lot of people who you are following. I'm not talking about that. That's a little more common. What I'm talking about is your followers, right? The number most of us are trying to get up. That's the number I deleted a bunch of. So right before I was going to hit 5K followers on Instagram, I deleted hundreds. And I went down to like 44 or something. And yeah, and that, I mean, it was hard and it was excruciating time-wise. But here's the thing. I did that, and in doing so, cleaning house of all these people who weren't, engaging with me anyway. They weren't really following me because they wanted to like follow what I was doing at all. Doing so kind of helped both of us, right? And in doing so, I increased my engagement rate. So one, naturally, even if I got the same average likes, same average comments as before, my total number of followers was lower, so that percentage will naturally be higher because math. But I'm also talking about, since doing so, my posts started to get seen and pushed out to more of my followers who weren't really seeing it before, because Instagram was like, oh hey, suddenly you're getting higher engagement rate, let's push it. There's so many things at play here. But I noticed instantly that there were quite a number of people who I hadn't been engaging with at all, and it's not that I didn't want to, Instagram was like, hey, you guys aren't talking anymore, so maybe y'all don't want to see each other's stuff, and so they hid each other's posts from each other. I hope that makes sense. So since doing that, suddenly I'm engaging and finding accounts that I originally was trying to engage with a long time ago, but suddenly they got kind of buried in amongst all the ghost followers and stuff. So I have more, followers and people I'm following that we're seeing each other's stuff again. And so my engagement is naturally also just going up, which is pretty cool. And I've got to say, doing so felt so good. Yes, we're all trying to raise that number. We want the 10K, we want the swipe up feature, we want that credibility and recognition of having a quality Instagram account. But I feel like nowadays people are understanding that it's not really always about that number. It's about that quality of the number. It's about the engagement. It's about, of those people, how many really are paying attention to what you got going on? How many are connecting with you on a genuine level, right? Hope I'm making sense. Okay guys, so that brings me to number 3, and I kind of was at a tiebreaker here of talking about an instance on through my newsletter that was really impactful with really small newsletter numbers, or another YouTube example, and I decided to go with the YouTube one. For one, we're here on YouTube. I'm going to honor this platform, but 2, I can't ignore and I can't not mention this little instance. Because it was such a big thing for me. It was very profound. So number 3 is another YouTube example of making an impact and not needing a lot of numbers to do that. And that's the big kind of message I really want to get across, is that you don't need a ton of followers and subscribers and viewers to make an impact. You just need to be reaching the right people. So, as you know, as we've talked about, my YouTube, numbers are quite small fry, and that's okay with me right now. And I, however, received an email, right, a long time ago, not too long ago, but I don't know, a couple months ago maybe, of someone who found my content in a search for getting education and resources and training within the field that I am in, and that I kind of teach and educate and kind of help you with, right? So I like to help you with your branding. I like to help you with your branding through photography, business, and social media strategies, right? Like this is kind of my nutshell purpose here on YouTube, is to help you, right? It's to help you with branding and to help you level up your brand, to help you level up that brand presence through these avenues of photography and, some business and social media strategies. In doing so, I've managed to reach someone. If you're watching now, special hello to you. Who emailed me saying that they don't really have access to a lot of the resources that they were looking for to help them tap into this area that they're very interested in. And I'm not going to go into a ton of details, but I cherished that freaking email. It was so real and raw and genuine, and you could tell that because, for one, they didn't leave links to all their things. Like, I can't find them online. I only have their email, really, and so you could tell it came from a very genuine place, and it was very profound, so profound that I was speechless, which is saying something because I can always talk, but so much that I couldn't figure out the words to reply back, and eventually I finally did reply back. So to you, if you're watching, thank you so much. You mean a lot to me, and this is why I'm making this video, is to really kind of hit that home for everybody, that it's not about the numbers as much as it's about the impact and reaching the right people, and I really hope that makes sense to you. And I'm grateful for every one of you who do watch my videos, who like my stuff on different platforms and comment and share. And if you are subscribed to my newsletter or here on YouTube, or you follow me on Instagram, I appreciate and I'm grateful for every single one of you. And I'm just going to leave it at that today. So I'll see you in the next video.